What's up, everybody? Welcome into First Take. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, I'm Molly Karam. How we doing, guys?
What's up? What's going on, man?
Ready to roll.
We got a lot to get into.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
High five.
I don't get one. Everyone's doing this thing.
Oh, yeah, we can do.
You know what? She didn't used to do that, but that's all right. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
All right, let's get into it.
I got something to say.
Yes.
That speech by that First Lady last night.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Sensational. I just want to make sure that our First Lady, the First Lady of the United States,
she brought it.
Absolutely spectacular.
I got up off my couch by myself in my hotel room twice. The glass ceiling in the White House that was, she wakes up every morning in a house that was built by slaves. America's the greatest country in the world.
Absolutely.
And the cracks in the glass ceiling. Twice I got up off my couch.
Our First Lady represented last night. I just want to say that.
No question.
Now let's get to sports.
We'll try to do the same. We kick things off in the land where it was a good day for Josh Gordon. Gordon was reinstated on Monday, but will have to serve a 4-game suspension and will join the Browns at training camp on Thursday. He was suspended for 2 games in 2013, 10 games in 2014, and the entire 2015 season for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. Now, Gordon's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, telling our Adam Schefter that unlike other suspended players, such as Tom Brady, who are banned from any football-related activities with their team during suspension, Gordon will be permitted to remain with his team during this suspension. So we got all that, gentlemen. Max, should he be allowed to be around his team during the suspension?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think that it's a recognition that, and this does not mean that there's no personal responsibility for your own behavior. However, if you have a problem, and in the commissioner or in the league's opinion, being around the team can help you with what really is a personal issue, then that should be a good thing. It's good that they allow you to do it. Now, yesterday, the Alden Smith stuff came out, and I was on a soapbox about the hypocrisy of a league that tests for marijuana, yet is in bed with alcohol companies, right? The problem with always getting on the soapbox, though, about that issue is that usually when these issues come up, it's a guy with a problem. Or else why is he, if he's being suspended, he's been caught for it multiple times, and he knows that his financial future is at risk, and yet he still can't stay away from it, which means he has an addiction problem. I mean, I don't know how else you can read that. So the league, recognizing this, says, okay, here it's actually helpful for you to be around the team. Go ahead, get help. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Really?
That's right.
I completely disagree with you. I don't think he should have been allowed around the team. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's a rule that's in place that states that that's not what's allowed. Tom Brady has to suffer the consequences. Now, we could sit up there and we could say, okay, Josh Gordon has a problem. He was absolutely spectacular in 2013. Had, 87 receptions, 1,646 yards. The next year, 2014, he only played 5 games. Was he injured? I don't think so. I think that had something to do with some kind of a violation. He was suspended all of last year. Why? Because they found another violation. And here he is now. Even though they're letting him back, he's going to be gone for the first 4 games of the year, just like Tom Brady. So let me get this straight. Tom Brady, model citizen and football ambassador, 4-time champion, universally recognized as the greatest quarterback of this era, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the history of football. Oh, by the way, supermodel wife, the guy sit up there and rocks the Tom Ford suits just like we like to. The guy looks good. He conducts himself in pristine fashion, doesn't get into any trouble or anything like that. But because of deflated footballs, this dude is not only not playing 4 games, which I'm certainly, and we can get into that later because I don't have that much of a problem with that, but he's not playing football. He's not even allowed to be with his teammates. He can't even have them over his house for dinner. But a dude in Josh Gordon, who I like, but with all due respect, got some issues. And one of them is weed. And because of this, we're going to sit up there and deduce that he has a problem. And because he has a problem, we need to be a bit more lenient. We could be more punitive with somebody who is pristine, but somebody who has a problem. Our empathy, our sympathy, all of a sudden usurps somebody like a Tom Brady, who has been a relatively stellar individual throughout his career, I find this decision reprehensible on the part of the NFL. Not because of Josh Gordon per se, but because of the inconsistency. What I'm saying is, if you know you're going to do this for Josh Gordon, then turn around and do the same damn thing for Tom Brady.
Who are you, and what have you done with Stephen A. Smith?
What are you talking about?
Stephen A. Smith, I know, is clear thinking enough to clearly see the difference here between a violation, which certainly isn't performance enhancing. If anything, the message that the league wants to send by even testing for marijuana is it does the opposite of enhance your performance, is that it's bad for your performance, that it's bad for you. Tom Brady, in the opinion of the commissioner, who by the CBA has the right to adjudicate this stuff.
Yes.
Tom Brady, in Goodell's opinion, and I happen to agree with the commissioner, cheated, or probably cheated, to gain an advantage. Are you going to say that there's somehow a moral equivalency, or there should be some kind of legal equivalency in terms of how the NFL metes out punishment between, on the one hand, a personal issue with substance abuse, which does not enhance performance, and on the other hand, a player who willfully, likely cheated for a team that was caught taping practice
I'm
in the
sorry,
past?
just in case you were wondering, I didn't stutter. I know what the hell I said, and I mean it. The fact of the matter is, Max, this is the bottom line. The 4-game suspension is the 4-game suspension. If you are suspended for 4 games, I'm not saying that, it should be the same no matter what. But if you're going to give Josh Gordon, if you want to sit there and not be as punitive against Josh Gordon as you are against Brady, then why suspend him to 4 games? Why not suspend him 2? Why not let him back 2 games earlier? I'm saying that while you're suspended, a suspension is a suspension. And under the rules of a suspension, if you are not allowed to be on, listen,
What are you, the suspension police?
Evidently so. Somebody need to be it, so I'll take on the title. If they gave it to me, I'm telling you right now, if I were the commissioner, I would probably lessen Josh Gordon's suspension from 4 games to 2. But while suspended, he would definitely suffer the same issues that Tom Brady has suffered from.
Here's the problem Goodell. Here's the problem Goodell has right now, and it's, I think, the reason that you and probably others will also take the position that he shouldn't have double standard for Gordon and Brady, although I don't think it's a double standard. I don't think all suspensions have to be created equal and all this kind of stuff. But here's the problem with Goodell. Power corrupts. Power tends to corrupt, and people have an intuitive understanding of this. And so they're suspicious of power, particularly someone with as much power as Goodell, where in the past it seems to have corrupted the process, or at least his thought process about how to mete out justice. And so now, because of that suspicion, whatever Goodell does will be met cynically by people. It will be received cynically. Here he's doing something constructive.
I owe you an apology. I owe you an apology. Max Kellerman, I apologize. I had no idea that you were Mr. Sensitivity. I had no clue. I had no clue. I had no clue, Max Kellerman. I had no clue that what you were concerned about is the commissioner being concerned about public opinion and how that could potentially sway him. Far be it for me to think otherwise. Far be it for me to think that Max Kellerman could give 2 rocks about what the hell the public has to say. Okay, if you're the commissioner, you're going to do what you believe is right.
That's what I'm saying. But he's doing the right thing, but it will never be met.
It will
never be received
it's not the right thing.
Well because people are cynical about his intentions.
But I'm saying to you, it's not the right thing. It would be right to me if Roger Goodell took Josh Gordon and said, instead of 4 games, I'm going to suspend you for 2. That might be right. But while you're suspended, you shouldn't be subjected, if you're Tom Brady, to different, more punitive rules against you compared to somebody else who's suspended. A suspension is a suspension. If you're sitting up here and you're suspended from work, guess what that means? You don't show up. Now, some people might have paid suspensions. Some people might not. But guess what? You're not on the air. And in the end, what's the difference between Josh Gordon and Tom Brady? The fact is, you're looking at Josh Gordon, and he is in a situation where you can't stay off the weed, possibly the sauce, possibly something else if you're hanging with Johnny Manziel, by the way, and then you're going to turn around and just sit up there and tell me that this dude deserves more leniency than Tom Brady?
I wrote it down yesterday.
I disagree with that.
How do you feel about staying off the weed again? Because I forgot. I wrote it down, but I can't find it.
Football players, guys that cost themselves money, stay off the weed.
Right, got it.
Period.
Here's the thing. So look, the team doesn't have to let him around. The team doesn't have to decide to let him around his teammates.
Any team's going to let their player around the teammates.
So let me get this straight. This is your position. Simply because of your idea of the definition of a suspension and how somehow they should all be treated the same. In the judgment of the commissioner, if this individual would be helped by being around his team, in the judgment of that player, if he would also be helped with the problem that got him suspended in the first place by being around his team, and in the opinion of his team and his teammates, he would be helped by being around them. None of that should change what actually happens because of some inflexible idea of the definition of suspension.
Once again, I owe everybody an apology. I thought that we were talking about the NFL. I didn't know we were talking about daycare center. I had no clue. I was lost. Somebody didn't tell me
you need
that
to
the
get in touch with your sensitive side.
Somebody did not tell me that we're talking about a daycare center.
Okay.
It's a grown man. And by the way, if you need to be around your teammates all the time to refrain from engaging in detrimental activities, okay, then guess what? There's no hope for you any damn way.
Well,
He was going all last year in 2015. He was going all last year. He only played 5 games in 2014. What the hell were you doing then? We could surmise, but in the end, what it comes down to is this. If you're going to be a member of the National Football League, you have to have the requisite discipline to make sure that you refrain from activities that could cost you your career.
But not in the opinion of the commissioner, Josh Gordon, the team, or his teammates. Not in their opinions who are actually going through this.
That is true, but they ain't on First Take either. We addressing this, and I'm telling you how I feel. I don't give a damn how they feel. I'm telling you what I feel, and this is what it is. They're wrong as far not the Browns, not Josh Gordon, but I think the commissioner in this instance, you can correct.
They don't have to follow his advice.
You can rectify this. Allow Tom Brady to have his teammates over his house. It's a Sunday, dog. It's a Sunday, Max, and I decide I want to have the team over for dinner.
Sunday dinner.
I can't do that. Tom Brady, he's an American citizen. Don't get me wrong. I am the person that's been all over him. But he is an American citizen.
No, he's not. He's a citizen of the NFL.
That too.
Roger Goodell, once you sign that CBA as a labor union, he owns you.
I totally agree.
Sold.
I totally, I won't go that far, but I get where you're coming from. But in the end, what it comes down to for me is that Tom Brady doesn't deserve being suspended for 4 games. Fine. But you can't talk to your teammates. You can't be around your teammates. You can't even have lunch or dinner with them at your house. Who the hell does Roger Goodell think he is? That's crossing the line. That's crossing the line.
Right. And check the CBA. Roger Goodell can do basically whatever he wants.
Nobody has made that argument as religiously as me, which Molly will attest to.
Yep.
But I'm saying
usually he's not Team Brady.
I thought it was hard and fast. I didn't know that you would turn around and say, well, Josh Gordon, he's got a problem. Let's have him around the team. You all feel free to bring him around. Let him play throw footballs with you
Maybe
guys.
They just want to get him away from
he can't practice. He can't train. You don't have a problem with Josh Gordon being around the team. You have a problem with Tom Brady not being around the team.
I have a problem with the rules not being consistent.
But what I like about this is here the commissioner is actually making a distinction between a cheater and a person with a problem. Cheating goes to the integrity of the game. And a problem goes to your personal life.
And I usually would agree with that. But in this case, with them having the same 4-game suspension at the same time, I mean, both of them, 2016
season.
2
guys might have the same sentence that they're up for parole at different times.
I'm just saying that it's wrong, Max. It's wrong to me for the commissioner to sit up there and make such a concession for Josh Gordon while doing that to Tom Brady. I have no problem with the suspension, which we're about to get into. I have no problem with the suspension, but the other stuff on the side your boys can't come over your house? What? I can't have my boys over my house because ESPN says so. Really? Something wrong with that picture? Something's wrong with that picture.
Especially a team that has tape practice before in the past. I think there is an argument to be made.
Tom Brady didn't
that there's a nature of conspiracy involving the team. No, not really. Of course he should be allowed to be around. Tom Brady should be allowed to have his friends over to his house, but that's separate from Josh Gordon being around the team.
Okay, so the sticking point for you is the inconsistency, and that yours is that all suspensions aren't created equal.
Of course.
Each thing should be treated differently. All right, speaking of double standards, when we come back, PTI's Tony Kornheiser thinks Tom Brady and Peyton Manning have been treated differently by the NFL. Is this fair or unfair?
Why is Max laughing at me? What you laughing at me for, Max? What you laughing at me for?
I think I know.
The light so bright that I bite my tongue.